Thank you for tuning in. We'll be with you momentarily. Do we do this? Boom. Gotcha. No, I don't have to try Kachava, whatever the devil Kachava is. Okay. Thank you for tuning in. We apologize for our minor technical difficulties. Except we're not really having any. Hi guys, give us just a second to adjust the camera. We had everything all nicely adjusted, and then the phone decided to turn itself off, and then it wouldn't rotate unless we moved it and everything else. So, hi. Today's episode is brought to you by water. Are you drinking enough water? Get water today. All right, let's see here. Live chat. Okay, who do we have? Wow, 9 of you already. Amazing. We're off to a good start. Okay, let's see. We have 420 Witch and Naomi and Rose's Rent. Hello, guys. Good to see you. Is this thing even playing here? Hey, there we go. It helps if we hit play. Okay. No, I don't want top chat. I want live chat. Hey, there we are. Okay. Sorry, technical difficulties, us being the difficulty. Okay, so let's see here. 420 Witch, Roses, Naomi, Blue Rose, hello. E. White, hello. Don't think we've seen you around on the streams before. Welcome. If you've been lurking or under another name, you know how it goes. But welcome. First time we remember seeing you. Not sure if it's just us, but if the stream seems jerky or jaggedy to you guys, let us know. We're not sure exactly if it's our tablet or what. Anyway, let's see here. Everyone, I'm smart. Hello, Naomi. No, it's not rude at all to ask who's fronting. Chris, obviously. Don't know. Other than that, we've been soupy is the best way to put it this week, or not week, month. Been longer than that. And so it's been a lot easier for us to flit in between who has the front. Okay, let's see here. So no, Chris, Data, probably whoever decides to pop in, you never know. DID is fun. Let's see. Oh, hello, I see. Okay, gotcha. Hello, Butterfly. Good to see you from Houndu GH. Butterfly will remember, or try to. Okay, let's see here. You guys are chatting. Bug Bean, hello. Good to see you. Formerly EW, but couldn't stand that it looks like ew. I never even thought about that. Yeah, much more distinguished, you know. But no, okay, gotcha. Let's see. Everybody's doing good. Hello, M. Good to see you again. Little Threat, hello. How you doing? How is your brother doing? Everything's still going okay on that front? Just haven't heard from you in a while, so thought we'd ask. Yeah, lag. No lag for you. Okay, good. We're not experiencing any lag. Okay, it must just be our tablet because we've got the tablet attached Wi-Fi, and I don't know. It looks like there's lag on the phone, but if you guys say that there isn't, then okay. We'll just go with it. All right, so welcome. Good morning. Sorry, or afternoon or evening, depending upon where you're at. Those overseas folks who are on a completely different time zone, thank you for staying up late to catch the stream. You don't have to. You guys can catch the replay, but we do appreciate that you want to interact with us directly. But yeah, welcome. Sorry we weren't able to get to it yesterday, but best laid plans of mice and men off to go astray. So, and actually, a valuable lesson about that. We may or may not get into that. So yeah, anyway, we try to do it on the last Saturday of each month, but this plans change. And I know that we haven't really put out any content this month. Like I said, we've said it was kind of a rough month for us. Anyway, we don't want to get too much into that. Check the chat log. We're going to try not to get backlogged. So, okay, let's see here. Morning lags, 9:44 p.m. there. Only 7, thankfully. Okay. The British beans it's still pretty early here. Thank you. Okay, Little Threats responding about her brother went through a round of having COVID. Me, who and told her diabetic boyfriend. It's been a time. Yeah, no kidding. Hope everybody's okay from that. But yeah, sorry to hear that. But we were thinking of you the other day, and she said your brother was back with you, and just wanted to see how that was going. So thank you for keeping us updated on that. Let's see, who else do we have that we have never seen before? Not sure. Don't see anybody. Do we have any lurkers out there? Are you lurking? No, lurk away. We're a little weird today. Like I said, we've been soupy. And tea and crumpets is good. That's from a break. Yeah. Percival and his tea thing. Completely ruined bagged tea for us. He was absolutely dead on right about that. So let's see. 420 Witch, really appreciate the kind words you left me on my Insta post the other week. Meant a great deal to me. It's called being a decent human being. We're sorry for your loss, but it's like to lose somebody that you're close to, and it's the pain is wrenching, and it's one of those weird things where it's like after you lose somebody, everybody's all wanting to help you and everything, and you appreciate the gestures, but you're just caught in this aching, numbing words really don't mean jack. It's all words. It doesn't mean anything because there's this great big gaping hole in your chest, and this person-sized hole in the world where your loved one used to be. So yeah, but you're welcome. We are, we're sorry. Like we said, we know what that's like. So that's why we wanted to say something. So let's see here. Who else do we have? Morin Kaleidoscope S is lurking beside you. Okay, hello there, and hey, Moxie Morin. Hi from them. Hello there, Kaleidoscope. Nice of you to indirectly say something. It's okay, guys. Seriously, for any lurkers, feel free to lurk it. It's okay. Don't come forward unless you're comfortable doing so. If you're just comfortable leaving us on to drone endlessly in the background about whatever it is that our perspective is, that's perfectly cool. Yeah, Naomi's saying, or back to the grief thing. They're saying, or they say, I know how it feels. I'm so sorry, and they never lost anyone. Yeah, those who have lost somebody, because it marks you. It marks you, marks your spirit. Just Me, hi, first stream that you've been able to catch live. Welcome, Just Me. We're glad to see you. Don't think we've seen you around the channel before, but I know that we were, like we were saying, we were just talking about lurkers and whatnot, and which is perfectly cool. Crafting system, hello, hello, crafting system. We're glad that you made it. Yes, definitely. We're good to see you. One of your biggest traumas, Naomi, is saying about the grief. Yeah, it's. They say it gets easier with time. It doesn't. You get used to it. It softens a bit, but it's there with you. Time does make things livable. Time, they say, time heals all wounds. No, but the distance does make it easier to bear. It's a very long process, and it's grief is one of these, I think, we think lifetime things, where it's a lot of things in life, and I think and we thought of the I think Data's slipping in here, so if we get wordy, that's probably him. um, I think one of the big misconceptions that we have in life, that we kind of labor under as people, as a species, is that there's some kind of a finish line. There's an A point and a B point, and everything that happens in between, and that's it. And people tend to put these artificial barriers on their life, like, I must work full time, have two jobs, the wife, the house, 2.5 kids, and the dog, and the cat, and everything else. Or, oh, I'm working on this, and I'm working on myself, doing an apt thing here, and once I hit X point, everything will be all better, and I'll have achieved everything. And one, that's not realistic, and two, that's not really the way it works, because it's a continual progression. Each day is just putting one foot in front of the other and trying to do better than you did yesterday, but it's still a struggle. Life is a struggle, and the more of these artificial goalposts, if you will, that we tend to put in our way, it complicates things, and I think we're laboring under these patterns. So it makes you kind of question just how much control you have over your life and your own destiny, and the answer is far more than you think. So anyway, boy, this one's going to be a long stream. We're rambling philosophical early. All right, so let me check in the thread, the thread here. So, or chat, sorry. Okay, let's see here. 420 is talking about the grief as well. Let's see. Naomi's saying that theirs was in 98 and it doesn't feel any easier, no healing. Yeah, 420, which pain never goes, it just gets lighter to carry. Yeah, and if you're lucky, you'll find someone else that can support you in carrying that. We were lucky to do so. We were incredibly lucky to do so. Yeah, that's a whole ball of wax, but we have numerous reasons to deeply love our wife and be deeply grateful for her, and her willingness to, God, okay, that way leads the guilt, blame, shame spiral for us, because we start feeling bad. And so let's keep this light, or try to. We've already started off with grief. Who knows where we'll go? So here, yeah, let's see. Little Threat saying, right on time helping, really hard to believe at the end, at the time of sorrow, but it really does soften down the road. Juxta saying that their grieving got easier when they examined what that person had meant in your life, and that what they had given you, and found a way to replace those things myself. Took 15 years. Yeah, Naomi saying, personally, it's more like I had to get used to live with the pain. And 420 Witch has lost a lot of people in the years. Yeah. Yeah, we're with you. We're with you there. Hound Doom, okay. Hugs to everybody who would like them. Those hugs are always free. Yes, good. Free good hugs. Good free hugs. Words no good work bring. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. There we go. Everybody's hugging. Yes, excellent. Suma Sky, or Sumi Sky. Apologies for the mispronunciation there. Hello, welcome to the stream. Don't think we've seen you before, so welcome. How many do we have going on here? 15. We were going to try to wait until around 20 if we could hit that, but we might as well go over things now that we've got at least a couple of new people in the stream. So you all know what time it is. You are probably sick of this. By now, it's time to go over the rules for those of you who are here the first time, in case you haven't figured it out yet. Our streams don't really work channels, which is more of a direct Q&A with us. You're more than welcome to answer any question that we're comfortable with, and as our longtime viewers can attest, there is not much that we're not comfortable talking about. And if there is, we'll say so. So feel free to ask questions, and also if anyone else asks a question and you have a perspective or something that may help or some experience regarding it, feel free to chat back and forth in the chat log. That is absolutely approved and encouraged here. So here we do have a few rules, and here they are. Rule number 1, you have the right to your own opinion. 2, you have the right to express that opinion. 3, you do not have the right to inflict that opinion upon other people. Don't stir the pot, don't talk about politics and things like that, and don't troll. We've been on the internet a very long time. We know all the tricks, and we have mods with large band hammers that will not hesitate to use them. Okay, so that's it. Those are the rules. We'll get back to the stream. So let's see, a big welcome to Sumi. Okay, we are actually staying caught up here. So, I know the minute we start talking, somebody's going to answer or ask, yeah, someone will answer a question. That happens a lot too. Let's see, Rosemont, are they still in the chat? Don't know, I can't tell. They might have stepped away. I don't have my other thing. If they are, they'll pop back in. We haven't gotten any notifications. So. Okay, so those DEMS rules. So let's see. Let me just double check on them because our screensaver activated. Well, no error messages, so I'm sure that they'll show back up. If not, I'm sure they'll let us know. Okay, so how has everyone's day been? Today's been pretty good. Yesterday was a little rough, which is just basically a continuation of the month that we've been having. All right, just suppose that we should go ahead and catch you all up as to why there hasn't been much content this month, if any, really. I think the last thing that we did was the stream holdover from last month. Let's see, might just read and listen from now. Hope it's okay. Absolutely, Naomi. Not bad for me, but no motivation. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, Naomi. I hope it didn't get triggered out because of that. We understand. Self-care. Take it easy. If you need to grab some sleep or something, please do so. Take care of yourself first. Yeah, no motivation at the moment to do my dinner. We've got ours defrosting in the sink, or one component of it anyway. Yeah, kind of a rough month for us. We've been at a low ebb because we've got another trauma bubble that's been working its way to the surface with some nasty new flashbacks that have started to kick in. And these are the full-on we are there, which is generally how they occur for us anyway, at least initially. Just repeatedly. Pretty much all of our flashbacks, we're right there. But anyway, this one is particularly ugly, and sometimes one sensation, even though we're re-experiencing all of the sensations that happened at the time, sometimes one or more are more pronounced, which just may have been because they were more pronounced at that time. So the body memories can be really intense for some of these, and it's very unsettling, and it's very hard to shake that off, and to get rid of those feelings, because they're there, they're stuck. Your body's just re-experiencing what it re-experienced, and it's tough to regulate when you're having those. For whatever reason, ours tend to kick in around the time we're preparing dinner, and this one was kind of like, I don't want to say directly tied to it, but it's we're in the kitchen, in the flashback that is, and or well, not the same kitchen that we're in now, obviously, but the one that where we lived at that time. And it's I think from the what we've gotten from that day, because there's been more than one bit. The flashbacks don't come in a linear fashion over your trauma history. Your brain will release this bit, and then that bit, and then this bit, and you kind of have to string them together in order to make sense what's going on. And we strongly suspect, that this one may well be tied into two that we already knew about and have worked and done some trauma work with that. It fits within the narrative, as we're saying. So yeah, let's we're going to check the chat log, because we don't want to get too far behind. We'll get back to the story in just a sec if there's nothing else. Let's see here. Yes, everybody's telling Naomi care. Yes, indeed. Listen to the kind people, Naomi. Mommy Cass, hello, welcome. Good to see you. Haven't popped in a while, so it's always good to see you. Let's see here. Do a light snack. Yeah, absolutely. People eat, drink if you're at home or a place. Self-care. Self-care, and just still listen. I know we'll happily ramble on for you. Light snack is better than nothing, so good job. Yeah, we forget to eat. Little thread, sorry. Yeah, new trauma bubble, sending much love. Have you found a therapist? Yes. You're jumping ahead of the game, Mama Cass. We've been dealing with this, and for those of you who have watched our a day and night with DID, the nighttime part, we show you what our flashbacks can be like, and our nights are generally plagued with them. 80 to 90% of our the beginning of our sleep time, we're caught in a sleep paralysis or having a flashback or whatnot, and it makes it very difficult to get any sleep, regular sleep, which is why we have huge bags under our eyes, which drive me nuts, because little man buddy. So anyway, when it's kind of like a put up or shut up moment on how well you can use your tools, because you're going to experience these things anyway as your brain releases. Your amygdala decides to go, we're going to open this file today. Or this week or this month, however long it may take you to work your way through it. So we've been doing a lot of DBT, and in the form of improving the safe space, the little space. We'll put some pictures up maybe in a community post. Unfortunately, we don't have any that we can flash up on the screen, because we're streaming directly from our cell phone. But we've been working through that using our Qigong, the breath body movements. We've been watching some of Bessel van der Kolk, the author of The Body Keeps the Score. We ran across a series of lectures that he did and are up on YouTube. Some of them were applicable, some of them were not, but we learned several new things. So basically, we've just been working on our tools, and we were actually getting ready to switch from our current clinic back to the one where we were first diagnosed, just simply because it's closer. And our current clinic, they do not. We've run up against a brick wall, because our case managers, we get a new one every other month. So we're constantly having to play catch up with them, and they really don't have anybody there to deals with trauma therapy and dissociative. It's mostly just substance abuse, and unfortunately, is like, that's just not going to cut it. That's not the therapy that we need. So we were actually thinking of, moving, switching back to the closer one in the hopes that at least it would be closer to home and they would give more resources, possibly, hopefully. And we actually, we've been fairly stable-ish. There's been a couple of missteps where our reactions have got the better of us, like yesterday with our daughter. Uh, it's, we reacted rather than acted. She is very active in doing theater and vocal stuff, and really good at it too. And we always try to support that. And she's been burning the candle at both ends, doing all of the plays, and she's rehearsing for a musical, and there's a performance. But we didn't know about it until that morning, and we had already kind of in our head prepared ourselves for a day, because Saturday is like our day. And it just, unfortunately, that jar at the morning, because we weren't quite awake yet, and routine is important. Anyway, the point of it is that we got irritated, and rather than just simply being, okay, we got to be, it's okay, we're flexible, this is cool, we can rearrange this. We got caught up on this is what we plan to do, rawr, type thing. And then it's like, after we got the details from her, and just basically we were a little bit of a dick. And it's I don't know, it's bootstraps comes out, or who exactly it is, but we were gruff, and it was easy for her to see that we were irritated. And unfortunately, after that, we just we came back to the room because we knew that we were. So we have to isolate, and it's at that point, and we've been talking about this, where we're at the point where we're catching that we're reacting in a trauma-based manner, and we're having to stop ourselves and go, okay, crap, we're having a reaction, and okay, where is this coming from? And why are we reacting this way? What can we now do in order to respond to this better? And for most of the month, as we've been dealing with the trauma and whatnot, we've been able to catch ourselves just as we're starting to react, or that mental kicks in, and we can tell. But anyway, we've been picking up on the patterns, and this is good. This is progress. This is a perspective shift that we were finally able to make. And we've been working very hard on it, but unfortunately yesterday we fucked up in dealing with that. We didn't catch it in time, and we let trauma-based patterning take over, and we managed to smooth it over with our daughter. Well, smooth over is the wrong term, because our conversations are always quite honest. And we will mea culpa when we screw up. That's something that nobody ever did for us when we were growing up. So we've always made sure that when we screw up, we admit it. But it was tough, because it's one of these where it's like boundaries and everything. Anyway, that's all to the side. The point, the main point is that we started to react and then caught ourselves after, and then of course felt crappy about it. And then you start to get into the guilt, blame, shame spiral, and you have to break that and go, okay, we can't spiral out. This is what we've done. This is what we did. This is how we've reacted to it. This is what we've done. And now we just have to sit with that. You have to fight against that make everything better impulse, because sometimes you can't make everything better, and by trying, you're just going to make things worse. So it's like tap dancing on a high wire at times. But now getting to the good part, and yes, I see the chat log scrolling. In the midst of all of this, and we have been maintaining fairly well, other than things like that. I think there had been 2 incidences, but the brain is blanked on the other one at the moment. We got an email, or rather, we were doing something. We were working we've been working on the safe space, the little space here. We'll give you a small Small thing, we're going to have to readjust this to do it. But the result of our DBT, or at least partially, there we go. You can see the sheep on the wall. Because we needed more wall for more sheep. So now, of course, we're going to have to readjust this. So sorry about that. We're going to get lucky. No, of course not. There's the problem. So, yeah, anyway, our daughter was gracious enough to forgive us. So, yeah. Anyway, trauma-based reactions, and we were up to the email. Yes, that's correct. So anyway, we were working on the littles, our DBT therapy, because DBT is just essentially keeping yourself busy in order to divert from the trauma and dealing from that. It gives us something to do so that we're not wandering around the house flitting from thing to thing to thing and never getting anything done and just getting more and more frustrated in the process as we wind the spiral tighter. Another thing you have to watch out and divert for. So we were sitting on the floor and she comes up and she's like, I just got an email from blank. And we're like, okay, let us finish what we're doing and we'll check on it. And the gist of it is that she is changing her employment arrangements and going on as a private therapist through a group, different location for a therapy type clinic where she'll be consulting, and they have teleconference and in-office visits, and they deal with, hopefully, knock on wood, because we need to contact them and get on as a patient. You can pay per visit, and their fees are actually pretty reasonable on that, and but they also do take our state insurance and whatnot. So we will be able to, and she was like, it's like, if you have a therapist already and you're making progress, but I wanted to let you know, and, let me know your intentions. And it's like, this immediately set up a hell of a reaction. It was like a gut punch, because all of a sudden all the EPs are going, and it was like, oh my God, and it was like, good ugly cry, because all of a sudden that feeling of we're out on a limb, we're by ourselves, it's like we're at the point where we're having to switch back to local just to have a local therapist in order to somebody to talk to, even if they're not qualified. Our wife keeps going, you need somebody to talk to, and it's like, yeah, we know, but the resources are limited. But it's like that kind of brick wall point where it's like, okay, we'll take anything that we can get. And then all of a sudden, email therapist wants to know if we would be interested in doing therapy with her again in this new company. And it's like, oh God, yes. No, but this set off an internal system explosion of reaction that took us about 2 days to kind of work through. And most of us are like, oh dear God, yes, thank you very much. And then there's those of us who are going, we're going to get to say, I told you so. And then they're no, we're not. We're going to be far more gracious than we were at the last 2 visits, which we were just completely reacting. And honestly, we don't remember a whole hell of a lot about, barely anything. There's dissociation for you. So yay. And it's like some of us are just not really wanting to talk with her because they still feel betrayed from the last time. Mimi. And so good news. But even with the good news, it brings that reaction and those trauma-based patterns to it, because the first thing was the rush of, oh my God, we're not alone anymore. We don't have to find somebody unqualified and then sit there and build a trust thing and tell them all of these intimate details and go through all of this all over again, just so that they can get up to the level of where we're at and what we need in therapy. And it's like, oh my God, we don't have to explain this, and she already knows everything, and the system is familiar with her. And even the grumblers, it's like the rest of us we had the meeting, which was very short. in the headspace, and it was overwhelming. It was like all in favor, aye. And there were only like 2 or 3 hands that went up in favor of nay, and the rest of us were like, you're valid. You have the right to feel this way, but it's just not going to stand in the way of this. I don't want to say miracle, but that's kind of how it feels. So yeah, there you go. That's basically been the month, and that was last week. And of course, we're still dealing with the trauma bubble and the flashbacks and the body memories throughout this. But so good things. Therapist again. This will be starting hopefully middle of next month, towards the end of the month, hopefully by April. So that's done. Something constructive. We have upgraded the safe space to what we originally envisioned it as. It's taken us some time to get it to where we want it, and Rose's, she can testify, she saw the basic, the outlay, and I don't want to say the finished form of what we've done, but we have really expanded on it this time around, and we're pleased with the results, and hopefully you will be too, and the littles will be too. So next month, since we're at the end of this one, we are definitely going to have at least one more new little stories, possibly 2. We're not going to be doing anything heavy next month because we kind of need just a break from that, even though we do enjoy getting that info out there to you. We're kind of self-caring after after the month of February. Hopefully March will be a little quieter. With the therapy, yes, this gives us something positive to work for and deal with. So we'll at least have one little stories episode up with the new thing here and all the new sheep. So yes, if you want a sheep on the wall, your littles want a sheep on the wall, drop their name either in the comments down below here on Livestream. You can drop it on the community post on our page, or hit us up via DM on Instagram if you want their littles on there. And we'll make sure to get those up before the next episode. And actually, we've still got about a dozen more that we need to fit onto the wall here, so there will be a little more rearranging before then. So anyway, that's how our month has been, and why we've been kind of absent. So with all of that said, we're going to go ahead and get back to the chat log, which is probably backlogged like crazy right now, and also take a drink because dry mouth. Okay. Where were we? Okay, we were on the free hugs. Okay, and Naomi going to do self-care. Yes. Okay. Little threat. Sorry for a hard month of the new trauma bubble. Yeah, it's been bad. Okay, so yeah, okay, there we go. Mama Castor Born was saying, have we found a therapist yet? Got your answer. So, yes. Just a Mom, hello, Just a Mom. Finally made it to alive, and girl is not, oh my, all hello, welcome. Saying it's hard to find a good one. Yes, it is. Starry Girl, hello, it's good to see you. How is it going over there? And also, yeah, we know, Starry Girl, you're not there, but for any of you who are in or around the Ukraine and in that area, please stay safe. Keep your head down. Self-care, please. It's horrifying what's going on, and that's the closest we're ever going to get to that. But we wanted to say, if you're in that area, please be safe, and our heart and our thoughts go out to you. And so hang in there, okay? Please be safe. Okay, so sorry, on a serious note. So yes, Starry Girl, good to see you. Hope things are going better, or at least that you're still working on your plan. We will keep checking in with you on this, Okay, let's see. 420 Witch is saying, sometimes it might make you laugh, but sometimes I got DBD and CBD mixed up when I'm talking to people. Well, they both have a calming effect, so I think CBD is probably better for achy bones and joints. Achy bones and joints, yeah, there we go. See what we did there? And then DBT, but yeah. Roses is laughing, not sure what that was. You see, we never know exactly what reactions are sometimes until we go back and rewatch, and the chat stream is live for us because we're always running behind. Okay, so let's see. Need to deal with the underlying trauma. Monica is saying, yeah, because it's going to come out anyway, whether you like it or not. Which is why we say we recommend don't push. It's going to do its job all on its own. You don't need to hurry it, which in itself just shows how remarkable the process is, that it happens that way. Thank God. If it slammed you all at once, which is why we split to begin with. So, yeah, amazing brain. So let's see. Sorry, girls, saying healing isn't linear, something we always need to remember. Yeah, we were actually touching on kind of that earlier in the linear nature of things. E-White, man, that is relatable. So hard to intercept that trauma reaction sometimes for me. Sometimes I have awareness, but sometimes other parts or emotions seem stronger than the reasoning. Yeah, and part of you is going, and the rest are in the back going, no, shut your fucking mouth. Whoops, but that's basically it. And then later you're like, oh God, yeah, it's the patterning is insidious, and we're only now really beginning to realize just how obvious the signs were and why we got our diagnosis, because it's just, and those blinders come off, and all of a sudden you realize your entire life is a lie, and now everything makes sense. And but it's an ugly kind of a sense. So yeah, that can, if we had a point, I don't know, we lost it anyway. So let's see here. But yeah, the emotions are definitely take the front before reason at times. We're lucky that Data is so good at his job, and we've managed to stay out of jail and things like that because he manages to divert us from those kind of things. But it's not flawless. Yeah, DBT, I believe. Quite the flock. Yes, it is. Hi, Blue Rose. We'll get to that in just a second. Quite the flock. Yes, the sheep. Each one of them is a little. Each one of those names, and there's 60 of them up there. I think just either, well, let's see, no, yeah, or over 60 at this point with the new ones that will go up. And even though we're adults, our bodies are adults, these parts of us, these core, these central parts of us, the most important parts for our healing often weren't addressed. And one of the common things is that as a victim of neglect or abuse, you don't feel safe, ever, which is why we will tend to we're prone to fantasy or getting sucked into things. Like with us, it was sci-fi on TV or whatever it was, Star Trek, things like that, or books we read or have always been voracious readers, probably Percival and Data there. But it's anything that you can do to escape, anything. And so as we go on, we will watch and rewatch the same movies again and again because it's comforting, because we know exactly what's going to happen, and it produces an emotional response that we can rely on. The same thing happens with music. For example, it's like we know that different parts of us are different alters, like have radically different musical styles. As it's on the night with DID that was demonstrated with Mimi, and she's not afraid to crank it up. It's a very noisy place up in here. So yeah, the littles, we wanted to provide something reliable, a safe space that will always be the same, and the format will always be the same, and because that is the key to making a child feel safe, is consistency and reliability. And that's something that a lot of children just don't have anymore, and particularly those of us who were abused, and these are littles. They're the damaged parts of us. And they need something. And there wasn't anything like that out there, and actually it was kind of a circumstances, just a random thing, how the whole thing started. But when we look at those sheep, we go, that is so cool. There's, 60 of them there. But then you catch yourself and you go, that's 60 traumas. That's 60 people, children who were abused on the wall right there. And if we can give each one of those names some place that is safe and predictable and gentle, where we can begin to maybe make them feel safe and deal with some of the everyday issues that systems face in dealing with the littles. Making time for them and making sure that they ask permission. It's if we begin to heal them, we in turn will be healed. So the show's kind of evolved, but we want them to be a part of it. And this was like I said, you're going to see it, but this was our original envisioning. And this is why at the end of each episode that Percival, we don't want to call it a moral, but he'll tie the thread of the story into a practical lesson. Generally, it's learning to work together with all your parts. But instead of reaching out to the adult alters or the adult aspects, we are trying to talk directly to the littles as we would talk to Christopher, or as we do talk with Christopher. And we're actually, I think that we're hitting the mark, because as systems we can be in touch with that and we can share that perspective and still have that perspective of a child and a traumatized child and hold that duality, if you will. So rather than addressing the adult, we're addressing the wounded child. Here you are safe. Here you are loved. Here you are strong. And then, okay, you may feel this way. Now, think about this person in the story. What did he do? Or what did these have to do? And then that germ of positivity and safety is going to sit there. They can rely on it and they can come back to it. Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree. That's like one of our most viewed there. We will watch the analytics for the little stories just to kind of see what everybody's watching and whatnot. And that's one of the bigger ones that we always seem to come out. So anyway, a long ranty thing. But yeah, that's we have quite the flock there, or Little Bo Peep does. But that is why we're so focused in on the little stories. And because we want to provide that comfort and that safe space that we never had. We found shelter in the electric company in Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And this is very similar. There are parallels to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood here. But we like to think that Fred Rogers would approve. And we feel that he would, because he was that type of person that spoke directly to the child, and he never lost that perspective. And I think that if he would have known about System Littles, we do not have a shadow of a doubt that he would not have tried to address that directly. So in our way, maybe we're kind of picking up that torch a little bit and carrying it. But yeah, that's we're passionate about it. I know that we speak about it a lot, but yeah, that's why for you new people. And if you haven't ran across them yet, check out our playlist, because we've got them there. So anyway, back to this, because I know there are other questions. So let's see here. Blue Rose, let me just check up on the you have on this moment. Okay. We're going to go back here to your question, Blue Rose. Esme Natter wants to know, how many alters do we have on this moment, as in fronting? I'd say Data, and Data is now definitely fully engaged. Chris, Data, the others just kind of lurk. They may flit in or flit out. But generally just Chris and Data. Actually, I think we just had a touch of Mimi a few minutes ago, but we're soupy this month, like we explained earlier, so who knows, but yeah, so okay. Okay. Yes, Oxymoron. Okay, we're going to get back to, we just wanted to check to see if there was anything endemic there, so, or that need to be addressed. Okay, Blue Rose wants to know, can you explain the guilt, shame, blame thing a little bit more? This is something that your abusers do, which basically perpetuates their control. After the abuse, the abusers will tell the kid, "Oh, you," and we'll just say, or we go into this in a great amount of detail in our Learning to Love Again, Sex, Trauma, and DID. It's our most viewed video, so it shouldn't be that hard to find. And we do go into this. I think it's about halfway or 2/3 of the way through the video. For more detail, go check that out. But basically, they will blame the child for the abuse. I have to do this because you were a bad boy or girl. There's an infinite number of reasons that they will give, but they will do the best to blame the abuse on the child. And they will set into place this system. Oh, you were naughty, so this happened. You're a bad kid. You're worthless. This is all you're good for. I have to do this to you, so you know what not to do. This is, and then there's the other side of it where it's like, I know that you enjoyed that and things like that. It's sick. It's the control. So it's a transference. It's a violation of the power structure, is what it is. They are emotionally beating you down. This happened because you did this. This is your fault. The fault never lies with the abuser. It lies with the child. And the child will then begin to internalize that. And they will in turn feel guilt, which then leads to shame, which then reinforces right back around to the blame. I did this because I'm bad. Guilt. Shame. I am dirty. I am worthless because of this. Guilt, shame, blame. This is my fault, and around and around and around it goes. And your abusers will do everything they can to keep you off balance and to reinforce that you are, oh, why do I even bother with you? It's like you're just a waste of my time or things like that. We're probably pushing pretty close to the edge, and we've already had some triggering out earlier, so we're going to stop right there. But those are the type of things. So this becomes ingrained in your daily activities. You don't even realize that you're looking at things through a trauma perspective. A lot of this, it's like you're awake late at night and you start thin. Normal people do this too. This is not just a specific DID or trauma thing. It's more pronounced for us with the trauma victims. But you'll be laying awake in bed and all of a sudden you're thinking about how you screwed up at a job that you had 15 years ago, and you're obsessing over this one particular incident, and you're going, God, we were such an idiot then. That was so stupid. Why did we do that? And, but then it becomes, that feeling starts to feed into it. No, well, it's like we did that because we're just, and they were absolutely right. We're not worth anything. We can't do anything right, no matter how hard we try, which leads into and it goes on and on and on. Roses might be able to, explain it a little bit better. They are able to summate things neatly where we go, blah, 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 but that's basically the guilt, blame, shame spiral. And we talk about this, like I said, in the Learning to Love Again, and how to, it's all BS. It's all BS. All it does is it reinforces your guilt, your blame, and your shame to further their control. And it becomes a part of your thinking and a way of your thinking. So we'll check back on the chat log here. But that's it in a nutshell. Go check out the other video. And I think Trauma Doesn't Lie. I think we might, or Doesn't Lie. I think we touched on that one as well. So there might be some ancillary information there as well. So hopefully that answers your question, Blue Rose. Let's see. Little Threat saying, safe space looks great. I'm still here just listening. Yeah, no problem. Esme Nutter, hello, welcome. We already answered you, so hello. We're catching up here. Actually, Warren, well, happy for you. Yes. Yeah, okay, we're talking about therapy. Yeah, 420 Witch is saying blue guilt, blame, shame is where you feel guilt, shame, and blame, and yourself, and it's a circuit. Yeah, it's circular, and it keeps going on and on and on until, and it's, it just beats you down and it beats you down, and jeez, okay. Oh, Macron. This be the verse. Hello, welcome to the stream. Good to see you again. Glad for the meet. Yeah, definitely. It's going to be nice to be back in therapy and with our our therapist, the one that diagnosed us. So it's like, yay, we don't have to backtrack and go over ground that we've already covered, and we can just simply pick right up and say, this is where we're at. We're go. Here's this new level, that we're at and functioning. So let's build on this. And of course, we know that some of it's going to be more trauma work, but at least now we're prepared for it, and we have somebody who knows our reactions and knows how to pull us out of that. So yeah, definitely a spot of good news in an otherwise rough month. Yeah, sorry girls. Catching us up on that. Mostly emotionally still stuck at home. Yeah, trying to get. Yeah, it is difficult. Sorry, it is. It's going to be one of the most difficult things you do. Breaking those patterns, and it's just on a purely physical, practical level of getting out. Yeah, but we're here for you. Okay, it's the audience, the community here. So hang with it, and just keep us apprised, please. We don't want you to vanish. From the chat log, we mean. Well, we don't want you to vanish in real life either, but okay, so we're soupy, like we said. So, sorry, I missed the thing about the musical. Esme, basically, it was just that our old therapist emailed us out of the blue and said, hey, I'll be switching to another place, and we'll be able to, are you interested in therapy with me again? It's like, yeah, yes, please. It's like, we go into it earlier in the stream. Let's see here. Something, okay, name for that was only yes, it's Horde indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, Blue Roses is saying, I thought I was the only one who experiences that, is a pretty common refrain when you start looking into the actual physiological and psychological fallout of trauma. Yeah. It's like we mentioned earlier, we're only now beginning to realize just how in-depth it was, and just our reactions, our entire being has all been based around trauma, and we didn't even know it. And it's just, but when somebody else goes, oh, well, I feel this way, or I experience that, and you're like, oh my God, yes, you get it, you don't feel so alone. So even though it's a sad fact, we are not alone in these things, and we need to draw on that as a source of strength. Like I said, Esme, have on this moment. Okay, maybe, well, we'll answer that as well, Esme. How many alters do you have on this moment? Maybe you also meant how many is in the system total. We're over a dozen. Yeah, we're over a dozen. Sorry, math, and I know it's just basic counting, but yeah, let's see. 13, 14. Sorry. Anyway. So yeah, there's a lot of us, but generally only the ANPs, the apparently normal parts. Most of the time, it's Chris, Data, co-fronting up at the front, and then everybody else just kind of hangs back here and comes forward to say whatever they want to say or do whatever they want to do when we finally decide to do it. Beata, hello, it's good to see you too. Percival's voice is so calming for me. He says thank you. Would say thank you. Oxymoron about the sheep. Our littles would like to have a sheep on your wall too, even if they don't understand the stories, but not all of us are okay with giving their names on the internet. Would you be okay with putting Oxys on one sheep? Absolutely. Whatever makes you feel most comfortable. And you guys, you don't have to have one up there. It's a purely optional thing. Okay, got it. Will do. E-White, yes, the space base is a great place. I know that I know that Nye and the Guardian of the Littles are very appreciative of it, and the work Percival and the system do to make it happen. You're welcome. Encrypted Angels, hello. Good to see you. Glad you were able to stop in on the stream. Hope you're got a little more stabilized and whatnot. Sorry about that again. Should have emailed you earlier. So, but we're glad that you're out there and we're able to pop in. Okay, let's see. Little thread here on escaping with sci-fi and reading. Used to sneak any and all books, including National Geo mags, yes, encyclopedias, etc., into the bathroom and read for hours. We're glad that we're not the only one who took refuge in the Encyclopedia Britannica. If you wanted to find us in school, we were in the library because bullies didn't go into the library, at least not until like high school. Um, okay, so little threat. Yeah, never connected the guilt, shame, blame cycle to things they said to us. Thank you for helping. Yeah, absolutely. And directly after that comes the trauma bonding as well, which we won't get into. But again, we're going to point you towards learning to love again. It's a rough video, but it's in there, so watch out for the trigger warnings. But a lot of this information that we cover and repeated questions, it's there. Just a trigger warning. Take them seriously. So let's see here. Yeah, you guys are catching up. Clover, hello, it's good to see you. Encrypt you eat a lot too. Awesome, it's so mind-opening. Yes, read books, people, books. Thank you. Just our host has been hit with memory after memory and realizing the horror of our past. She's been MIA due to all that. We're doing what we can to stay afloat. That's all that you can do, Starry. Hold the course. Hold the course. Let's see. Just so you know, my Rosa is saying, just so you know, my mother watches the little stories and the routine and safety of them makes her good cry every time. You didn't tell us that before. Wow. Cool. Yeah, it's not the first single, but thank you. This beat the verse. We're glad your therapist who diagnosed you has contacted you for sessions again. Yeah. Yeah, because honestly, it's been a nightmare since this. Anyway, but yay. Dragons, hello. Good to see you again. Let's see here. I was responding to Chris when he was talking about staying up all at night in the memory of messing. Yeah, I've done that. Yeah, I think everybody has really. It's like we have this series of repeating dreams about one, fortunately not trauma dreams, but they're nightmare-y on their own, about one of our first jobs, and it's like, oh god, not again. So there. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so Roses is giving advice to Starry Girl. Let's see, this will be the verse of backdated hello to everyone. Sitting here making tea and sitting down, no problem, Carrie. Let's see, Rose's rent. Bullies don't go into the library is the most mood thing I've heard lately. Well, I didn't. Ducks, why do you read those things? You're stupid. You're just trying to act smart. It's like, no, I am smart. But, that kind of comment tends to lead to you having a dodgeball in your face, or something worse. So, okay. But yeah, it was a refuge. It was a refuge. Ironically, the other place that almost nobody, two other places that almost nobody went in school or goes in school, the orchestra pit in the auditorium, or just the auditorium itself. And believe it or not, well, at least in our time, and if you have the type of bleachers that don't fold back on themselves, under the bleachers in the gymnasium, generally there's one corner where they've got the athletic mats, and you can kind of worm your way in behind those, or at least we did on occasion. So yeah, wow. Traumatized child, much trying to deal with, yeah, like we were talking, it's everywhere. So, whoops, no, go away. Let's see here. So, thanks for the sheep. Somebody is very happy now. No, absolutely. Yeah, this be the verses talking to Starry Girl and offering them support. Clover, any new videos coming up soon? I love sharing your videos with loved ones that don't have DID to help them understand the disorder. Yeah, we had a rough month. You'll have to rewatch the stream to catch up on it because we don't want to go back into it again because there's a lot to it. But this month, we have at least one new little stories, possibly two, and we're going to have at least one short episode. Possibly another one where we'll have a short episode, 2 tips to help make you feel safe when you're triggered out, and they're easy things to do. And the other one, we want to do an episode more on the TITH, the bad headaches that we'll all get when we're switching or about to switch. We've been working on one, and data has been gathering info and whatnot, and has about graphed it out for us. So we'll be getting to that. Maybe this month, maybe April. We're going to try to get it done this month. We're going to try to get out 2 little stories and the 2 tips, which will probably be the next thing, and then we'll do the TITH. So maybe we'll split them up that way. But that's what we've got coming up for the next month. Not anything serious. We're going to we can't do a heavy, serious thing this month because we kind of have to self-care after February here. And first part of March actually is kind of it's a little bit scary actually, because our daughter is going to be making a trip to New York for her acting and whatnot in school. It's that high school trip that everybody wants to take, but yes, well, I don't know, we never got to. Anyway, so it's kind of like, oh, my daughter is going to a strange place. It's like it's all the parental fears that go along with that. I think we lost track of the thing there. Oh yeah, any new videos coming up. So yeah, those hopefully we'll have at least 2 up, but it fluctuates. So and thank you for sharing them to loved ones and folks who don't have DID in order to help understand. Hopefully that helps out. Okay, Rose might take you up on that. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so let's see. So happy for your sister. Hope you all get happy again. You deserve it. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for your help with the grounding items. I had some with us and it really helped during the scary appointment. Yeah, absolutely. I almost forgot about that. The pocket grounding box idea or bag. 420 for my school is a library and drama room that were the places boys didn't go. Yeah, the AV room too, back in the days when it wasn't locked up. Dark and quiet, and you could just read. But yeah, the library was always a safe space. Let's see here. Love that the bullies didn't read. I was homeschooled pre-K to 12, hence the bathroom is... there you go. Sorry you had a rough month. It is what it is. It's just a new trauma bubble bursting and just trying to deal with that. But, the DBT, dealing with that, has led us to finally get the littles, the safe space done the way that we want it to. And you guys will see that coming up in the next episode. We're pretty proud of it. Roses has gotten a preview, and I think she can attest that it's looking pretty good. So let's see here. It is what it is, though, Clover. Total homeschool 5. Headaches are killer, Clover is saying. Yeah, they are. They're nasty, and they seem to be fairly common among systems. I'd actually be curious to know if it's just DID and OSDD systems, or like with folks with BPD. Okay, yeah, now see, this is data. Clicking and just make a note of it, dude. This is why sometimes the episodes get a little delayed, because he finds some new tack or fact or something. Research link. Okay, sorry. Jot it down while it's there and doesn't fly away. Okay, this be the verse. We were homeschooled too, but spent most of our time outside walking by the river and climbing trees was how we avoided bullies for those of us who didn't use the fight response in there. Bullies sucked. I was going to say bullies sucked at climbing trees, but I mean fair. Yeah, that was another place that well, this was more a home refuge than or get away from home refuge, as it were. Where we lived, there was a large, well, they called it a creek, but it was basically a small river that had really sandy banks and cattails and cottonwoods and things like that along it. And we would, it was one of the places we weren't supposed to go because danger of flash flood or something, despite the fact that most of the water was only like about an inch deep unless it was raining torrentially. But we would go and we would hide out there. So yeah, it's funny, that call to nature to stabilize, for sure. But yeah, that's basically from the time that we got home from school, we grabbed a snack and then we hid outdoors, and we weren't back until dinner because we knew he'd be coming home and we didn't want to be there any second more than we wanted to. And if it was still light enough after dinner, we'd go right back out. And it's basically hide from your abuser all day. And hope that you don't get noticed. And if you do, that it's in another room with other people. Or anyway, I'm sure you guys know the dance. Okay, so random thoughts. Sorry, like I said, we're soupy and kind of all over the place here. Yeah, Rosa is saying their cloud of bullies were the rest of the neighborhood children, so I often think going to normie school might have been a bit of an escape. Well, at least you have the advantage of anonymity to a certain degree. Oh, let's see. 420 Witch saying I have trouble bumbles of memory randomly explode and told by professionals. They feel I have BPD, quite BPD. Yeah. If it just works out. Sorry, okay, now we're kicking data in there. Clover saying, I have a question for everyone. Dysphoria. Does anyone here have any tips on helping alters who experience dysphoria when fronting? I get it so bad, especially now they're eating. Guys out there, this sounds like a group experience question. We do suffer from the dysphoria some, particularly when, well, it's like a flitty thing for us. It's particularly when Rosemary or Mimi or even Susie, although Susie will just slam her way to the front. There's a huge, well, no, pretty much for all of us, because the Christophers, see our body the way that they were. But we've looked in the mirror, and when the girls are close to the front and seen a feminine body physically, it's the most unsettling sensation. But it's like, okay. And but yeah, that's dealing with it. Hopefully others will have better experience or tips on that. Because we are so covert, the girls don't really get to come out and fully front and dress the way that they would like to. Mimi is way overdue for some time fronting. She's been grumbling about that recently. Rosemary, of course, wants to do something, but things have to. The kitchen must be in such a shape before that. So but I guess maybe because we're covert and we kind of grew up as one, we don't really, I don't know, or maybe it's one of these things where it's going to smack us in the face. And the one thing that there's really, you never know what's going to happen with DID. So maybe we'll experience it more in the future as we become more distinct, or discover who we were at that point in time. Yeah, we're fumbling here, so hopefully somebody else has some better experience than we do. Sorry. Yeah, we will admit it was uncomfortable finding a bra for Rosemary. Yeah, does that count? No, but no, seriously, we know there's folks in the chat who can better answer that, far better than we can. So that's what little we can give you. Okay, know for a fact that bullies were those with the normie school. Yeah. Okay, yeah, Rose is saying the degree and direction of the dysphoria. Homeschooled, let's see, depends on what type. Yeah, Gender Encrypted Angels is saying that they have dysphoria pretty badly. Depends on what type. If it's gender dysphoria or body dysphoria, there's a lot of different types. Yeah, we're definitely not an expert in any way, shape, or form. Direction. Bathroom is still a sanctuary of sorts. We were, Sorry Girl is saying we were able to hide from everything and everyone back then. Yeah. As you become an adult, particularly if you become a parent, yeah, the bathroom can become a sanctuary. So can the closet. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, Roses is going into more detail on the body dysphoria, and some others are good. You guys are giving some great tips here. We're learning. We're reading. Sorry. um, Encrypted Angels is saying that when gender dysphoria is happening, what helps us putting on clothing items that make us more comfortable for body weight dysphoria. Pictures and videos help us. We're gonna have to look into that. Thank you for that, Encrypted Angels. Um, yeah, Oxymoron is saying got bullied everywhere at home, in school, in the neighborhood. Yeah, same. It was like everywhere, and we wonder. It's like, was the bullying with the other kids? Was it because we had this huge trauma target on our backs, and we were just literally screaming, "We are a subservient, abused being. Please kick us." I mean, it's like you wonder, well, what signals were you sending out? It's like, did they sense the weakness or whatnot, and then just use it? I mean, our neighborhood bullies did let off of us until I think it was about we were 11 or 12, and Christopher D just snapped one day. And if you've ever seen the Christmas Story, the movie Christmas Story, where Ralphie just suddenly freaks out and just wails the crap out of the local bully and is screaming obscenities, that was us that day. And and after that, they pretty much left us alone. But yeah, it took us being driven to that point, and now we're looking back on that incident, going, "Yeah, wonder why we snapped." uh, anyway, sorry, got off the sidetrack there. But yeah, bedroom was refuge. Yeah, when we weren't allowed to close our door. That was not a thing that could be done until we were, well, no, even then, really, we couldn't do it. So, yeah, sorry, getting into trauma territory there. Okay. Yeah, some great tips going on here. Oxymoron about dysphoria. We avoid looking in mirrors. Oh, hard mood. Most of us do not feel the body very well, so we experience very little of it, at least as far as I know, and we dissociate a lot, I think. Interesting. For us, our senses are like hyper aroused. We have hyper arousal where we're constantly on that edge. Uh, we do slip into the hypo, the numbness at times too, but for us, most of the time we're, and it's awful because it burns you out. Yeah, okay, they're saying bra dysphoria totally counts. Yeah, that was an interesting experience. Um, Yeah, may this be the verse is talking about makeup being used to contour the face to make it look more masculine or feminine as well. Yeah, we did some theater in high school, and yeah, if you hit the right spots, you'd be surprised what just a little bit of shading can do. There's another thing might explain why we did our makeup so well in drama. Of course, we know that we watched Egg Donor put on her makeup. So maybe that's where that came from. I don't know. Anyway, that leads to murky territory that we don't want to poke into right now. See, this is DID. You're constantly questioning, what was this? Was it related to the trauma? It's like, can I believe anything? Frustrating, very frustrating. Speaks Christ, feminine, masculine, feminine. Love all this advice going on. We're definitely going to have to read the chat log closer on the dysphoria here. Looks like bullying is fairly common for us trauma victims, which just traumatizes us further. Yay. Avoid looking in mirrors. Yeah. So, okay, Twin Stars, hello. Sorry you're late. How are you all? It's been, I don't want to say a heavy stream, but we recapped. We had a rough month. New trauma bubble bursting that has led us to do a lot of DBT. And but good news is that we're getting our therapist back. So we'll be able to pick right up where we left off, basically. And but, well, not right where we left off, because we've made progress, actually, part of it significant in the meantime. So we'll be able to take the therapy to another level. Yay. But we do know that there's still going to be some work to do it. So that's basically how, catching you up, we've just been talking a lot about, right now we're on body dysphoria, so which you already know because we're catching up on the chat log, so it's kind of pointless for us to point that out. All right, moving on, but it's good to see you, Twin Stars. Relate to having scars the body doesn't and feeling like they should be there. It's really hard sometimes. I typically cope by wearing modest clothing, and can't see if that helps. Yeah. Our problem is that we have a lot of inexplicable scars for some reason. But we do, we get the body sensation disimage thing, because it's like, when it's weird. A lot of mirror avoidal. Yeah, we were taught not to, because that's not real. That's not, and yeah, you know where this is going. Okay, so 420, which I hate mirrors. I hate how I look like I feel I'm utterly ugly. Yeah, that's a trauma response right there. That's that guilt, blame, shame, and that thing. But we feel you, because we feel the same way. It's like we look in the mirror and we're like, anyway, trying to keep it light, but we feel you, 420. Boy, we feel you. Okay, found a key for our room and guided it. Very good. We're not allowed to, okay, yeah, we were not allowed to lock us in, but we did. Yeah. Oh, guarded it. Very good. Okay, yeah. Can't blame you, oxymoron. I would too. Yeah, yay for avoiding mirrors. Finally had a dream where I had chest hair. It felt so good. Let's see. Rose is saying that part of what helps erase scarring is doing the trauma work with that alter in the attempt to remind them that they really shouldn't have scars, and that recreating them physically helps no one. Yeah, talking about some self-harm there. For sure. Great tips, everyone. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Like, this is why we run the streams the way we do, because everybody's got a piece, and we're stronger together than we are separately. And that's one thing that the abusers try so hard to do, is to separate you from everybody else, to encourage that guilt, blame, shame spiral, and control, and lack of perspective, all with the idea of control and perpetuating the abuse. And we carry these patterns forward with us later in life without even realizing it. It shapes our reactions on virtually every level. Okay, let's see. Be the verse is saying, I feel that so much. We live in hyper arousal mostly in here, and it does burn you out so much. Yeah, constantly running off adrenaline or exhausted to despair most days. That sums it up. That sums it up. And when you do have the energy, there's a billion different things to do, and then you have to try to decide which one is the most important. And Yeah, but being hypo-aroused or hyper-aroused, it sucks. And we noticed this like back in our 20s. There were certain fabrics that we can't stand the feel of corduroy and uh, and things like that, like dusty, dry dirt. There's been a variety of them over the years, but it's we realize now it's come from being hyper-aroused all the time. And it also didn't help that at that particular point in time, there was this guy at work who took great joy in sneaking up behind people and popping out and scaring the crap out of them, which, needless to say, did not do us a world of good. And God, we just really hated that guy. I mean, it may seem funny to you, buddy, but sorry, you're a dick. Lloyd, you were an asshole. Okay, so yeah, Clover's saying that their therapy isn't going well recently. She's just not skilled enough. I hear you. Look for somebody else. Good luck. We just went through the. Yeah, God, it's so tough to find somebody that is qualified that deals with this. Let's see. And we're talking about binders here for the chest and whatnot. A lot of good advice. Like I said, we're going to have to go and reread this. Rosa is saying, sadly, a lot of the time the trauma work is more effective when self-directed than on the whim of a therapist who may or not be well educated on deep dissociation. Yeah, we can see where you're going on there. We've done some self-directed trauma work as well. That's all we're going to say about it. But yeah, um, trauma work or trauma recreation, yeah, thin line. Anyway, so yeah, binders. Scars, the source. Okay, kind of worried that it hurts. Also got a pack or two. Yeah, see, I'm definitely have to read through this because we're not even familiar with some of these terms. This disorder is so confusing. My therapist just isn't helpful. Look for one that is. Twist. Yeah, that's we can really say. It's tough. Miss Day, hey, or I'm sorry, Onyx. Hello, Onyx. Good to see you. Second note on the temporary tattoos. They help so much. That's a great idea. Miss Day, how is everyone doing? Or I'm sorry, Onyx. Okay, how's everyone doing? Talking about a variety of different things. Right now we're on body dysphoria and some tips to make various alters who experience dysphoria feel it more at home with themselves and more home in the body. Rosa's talking about stage makeup. Yeah, absolutely. Great idea to help the alter identify. Tattoos. I feel like yeah, amen. I feel that this be the verse is saying I feel that goddamn a lot. For me, it's one, I got scars inside, and two, I know I'm scarred in ways that can't be seen, and it feels validating and soothing to make them visible. Pride and comfort you. Temporary tattoo pen, Rosa said. Never heard about that one. Interesting. Okay, yeah, Onyx, yeah, talking about dysphoria. Temp piercings are good too. Interesting. Do they still have those little um, clip on? Or those little pasty I'm sure they do. Uh, let's see. Planning on getting some actual sleeve tattoos to help me, Twin Stars is saying, because I front so often, I'm really looking forward to it. Sharpie works in the meantime, though. Our thing with tattoos is we've never been able to decide something that we would want to permanently put on our body. Because that's kind of forever, so it's just not really tattoo people. It's a great art form. We admire it very much. It's just not been our thing. Not sure why. Fancy makeup, yes. Okay, got to go. Love to all. Take it easy, 420 watch. Thank you. What you love, right back at you. Day to day, energy gets depleted quickly. If we're too anxious, then we just feel numb. Yeah, uh, it's that hypo swing. Let's see. This be the verse. Tons of work in validating the invisible ones and the tangibility of them, even though we can't see the ones in our mind. Help me to not want them too much out here. Still a bit of we're a little confused there, but I think that we hear what you're saying because I'm trying to. I'm not entirely sure there. This be the verse. I think that you're talking about working with everybody on the inside and the outside as well, but we're not sure. Sorry, we're a little disconnected today too. So. Let's see, by 420 which Collidon. Okay, let's be able to feel that too. This topic, I know we got recommendations for binders right above you in the chat log there, Onyx. Let's see. Unless you're a contortionist, we're definitely just going to have to reread the chat log for all this dysphoria stuff here. Problem is, even the professionals in my area have had to consult with others because they just aren't any people here who can treat it. They've had to consult all the way in the States. They're in Canada. Yeah, finding people with the right qualifications to deal with this is it's tough. There's so few of them out there. That's why it's like when ours emailed us, we were like, oh yes, thank God. And kudos to her for doing that, because it's obvious that she does care about the systems, even though I don't want to say that we didn't part on good terms, but we did not deal with it at all. We're a little bit ashamed of that, but in a weird way, that also serves as a validation that the DID is valid in and of itself. We're talking about the denial, just purely on another, not the trauma doesn't lie, but just more on under stress. It just became obvious that there was no emotional control there, and everybody started rushing to the front. And it's like, okay, yeah, this wouldn't be happening if we weren't actually really a system, because it was just, and it kind of made us realize, and we do realize this every once in a while, just how fragile the control is on the inside. It's like, we'll try to define this. Have you ever felt like if you just let go, you might not come back, and it's like you don't dare let go of that because you're too scared of what would happen? I don't know if that makes any sense or not. Like I said, or soupy brain. So you got tattoos, earrings. Yeah, but we feel you, Clover. Or do we feel you? And we'd like to think that that's one of the reasons that she emailed us is that knowledge that there's not that many out there, and that we were basically kind of, there's not going to be anyone who's qualified to help us. So we're not sure. We'd like to think so, but it's obvious that she does care. So yeah, but because trying to find somebody else, that was frightening and difficult. It's like every time that we would make a call, I'm sorry, we don't deal with that. Oh, we're only a referral service, or oh, I have a waiting list that's 2 years long, and there's like a dozen or more patients with DID before you. Would you like to put your name on? It's like, clip earrings still exist. We have a lot. Okay, good. Mimi, clip earrings still exist. Clip earrings still exist. Mental notes. So yay. Speaking of tattoos, okay. Consult. Aces can be dangerous. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you for the clarification. This be the verse. Yeah, or like I said, we're not at our top form today, so got a little lost there. Twin stars have had similar problems, especially with physical disabilities. It sucks, and online therapy doesn't really work with us. Yeah, unfortunately, there's just there's so much of a hands-on and in-person part to it, particularly once you finally get to trust your therapist. It works more about binders here. This is Binders 101 here today, guys. So if any gentlemen are near whatnot, well, both sexes of the body, yeah. Dysphoria, yay. Watch your host flail. Somehow validating and being able to see those types of scars is real. Create the visual. Mental, emotional scars, seeing how tangibly they affect life and existence, show our behavior. Okay, gotcha. This be the verse, and we understand, And one thing that may help with the need to create the visible scars out here, and we've found this out and we used it ourselves, is to take a black or, well, a red, if you want it to be close to the real thing, Sharpie marker, and to make an X on yourself or a line on yourself instead of cutting or making those scars on the outside. It relieves the urge in a non-harmful manner. So I don't know if you heard of that or thought about doing that before. We had one day when we had X's all up on our entire forearm. That was not a good day. That was the day that our life went. But yeah, enough about that. So but yeah, you might want to try that. This be the verse because it helped us. We've used it. Let's see a little bit, Chris, especially in the beginning, our host was scared of disappearing or something. It gets better over time. Yeah, we're still terrified. I'm terrified because there's so much. And now we/I are finally understanding that this gnawing hole that we've always had in the middle of our chest has been the trauma. It's always been there eating at us. It's like, well, we quote it, and I think it's in Trauma Doesn't Lie. It's like in the Matrix, there's something wrong with the universe and you've never been able to put your finger on it. Thorn in your side that you can't pull it out. Well, guess what? Yeah, it's the trauma. But it's like, we're afraid because there's so much of it that it will A, overwhelm us, and B, that we won't come back. But of course the flashback sucks us right into it anyway, so it's are we just, doing a sound and fury into the universe type of thing? Does it really matter? Don't know. Yeah, we're scared of blacking out. Happens to us, but yeah, this is it. It's like, who the hell is fronting when we black out for these time periods? Because nobody wants to fess up afterwards. So we really want to know exactly how that all works, and yeah, so we are having a great deal of trouble making a point today. Okay, thanks for the voice. Binder. It's hard to find elsewhere. So I'm working for such a century. Yes. Okay, this be the verse is saying I use a red marker nowadays, or just make up my face to represent my mood better when shit gets dark. Cheers for the suggestion. I appreciate it. Yeah, Mimi is poking the image of dark goth, stark, emo. Well, no, not emo, goth, like from the 80s. And yeah, it's like, because it was as much attitude as it was the makeup. It's tough to explain. Broken ribs or okay. We're definitely gonna have to read about binders here. Although we have done like Renaissance recreation and whatnot, and actually set our own intros, and there's really not a whole hell of a lot of difference between a corset, a binder, and a doublet. And we have worn those in the past, and they do wonders for your figure and your back. But they do have to be custom fitted, so maybe if we need a binder, we could just simply go back over one of our old doublet patterns. Idea. Okay, so anyway. Dragon saying the Sharpie lines instead of self-harm sounds genius. Never thought of it. The red sounds like it was work. Thank you. Yeah. We used black because, the red is obvious. It's like the blood, and we don't want to, there's you're like on a razor thin line there. No pun intended. So we tend to stick to the black, but whatever. The main point is that it relieves that urge. If you're taking a physical action which changes your brain chemistry, you're completing that circuit. You're in a small way, you're completing the stress response cycle. And I know that we go over and over and over the stress response cycle, but basically everything that we experience is tied in some way, shape, or form to it. And whether or not we're resolving it because we get stuck, that's the hyper or the hypo arousal. We never complete. So all those little things, anything that we can do to complete the stress response cycle, the need for it, and that dopamine will instinctively do. So yeah, the drawing with the Sharpie trips that and closes the stress response cycle a little bit, so you're able to endure it. What are we just read this? Window of tolerance is what they're saying. Okay, so okay, Clover's got to head off to work. Thank you for the conversation and helpful tips. Going to review the chat later. It's great. Write all the great ideas down. Have a good day, Clover, and be safe traveling out there to and fro. And stay warm if you're in a cold part of the country, because, boy, the weather system in the U.S. right now is wackadoodle. Okay, Roses is saying, once again, I recommend against Sharpie on toxicity ground washable markers from the dollar store. Great. I'm from the generation that grew up, sniffing black magic markers, so no, not like consistency, but, we did dumb shit in the 70s and 80s. Okay, let's see. Twin Stars is saying conversation about dysphoria is that we're getting a piece of claw armor jewelry that we're really looking forward to, especially since we're non-human heavy. Yeah. Anything you can do to make the others feel those little things to make folks feel more at home, or the urges that we've always had to get this or that or whatnot. And, now we're realizing, oh, that was this alter wanting X. So now we're able to pare those things down to manageable proportions. Let's see. Is it okay to post links? Just want to double check these sizes aren't in a. Yeah, I think. I don't know. Yes, no. TMJ, we just saw D79 just have a few minutes. Wanted to pop in and say hello. Welcome to the stream. We're kind of all over the place right now. Right now, we're talking about body dysphoria and how to deal with that, and also the technique of using a Sharpie or a washable marker when you're feeling self-harmful or thinking about self-harm, to draw on your skin to complete that reaction, to give a non-harmful way of dealing with that response, and how that helps to trigger the stress response cycle and complete it just a tiny little bit for you to deal. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. Cryptid Angels is saying love tattoos and piercings. Also henna tattoos. Those are the longer lasting ones. We've seen those at they're temporary, but they last for a while. We've seen those at the Ren fairs. Let's see here. Oxymoron. I'm afraid that if I let go, someone of us will do something very stupid. I have no real reason to believe that, but I don't know what happens, and it frightens me. Yeah, hard mood. That's it in a nutshell. One of the reasons. It's like, how do you know whoever is there is going to behave themselves? And this is still something that we struggle with, and we don't like to let go of the front a lot. We're still really weirded out by it, frankly. But then we co-con. Those of you who have seen the day and night Day with DID videos know our head is a noisy place, so maybe that helps with not wanting to fully front. Anyway. Yeah, we feel the oxymoron. The only thing that we can say that we've found to give ourselves some comfort is this has happened before, and we're still here now, and that bad thing didn't happen, or at least not that we know of. So you would think that something majorly bad, you would know about it one way or the other when you came back. Hopefully, don't know if that helps, but any important storm. More about binders. Not toxic Creolas, yes. Claw originally, there's probably a lot of interest in there. We're gonna have to look that up. Doesn't work as best as okay. Binders. We're definitely gonna have to reread this. Stress and well-made fitting. Don't get something marketed for cosplay, crossplay. Those aren't designed for long wearing. Yeah, exactly. Just speaking from the doublet perspective, they have to, in order to fit properly and do their job, they have to be custom fitted too. And I don't know, maybe this might be, we might actually have something to contribute to this because we've been in the Renaissance Fair and the SCA circuits for a while previously. And the easiest way to make a custom vest or doublet or support for yourself is to take a plain white t-shirt, and you'll need the help of a friend for this, and cover it with duct tape. Duct tape yourself, literally. You want to, like try to kind of suck in your gut to maybe where you want it to be as you're duct taping, and hold it so that the support is going to give you that tucked in. But then once you've got it all duct taped around and everything, and you're going to look ridiculous and feel stupid, but you take and you slit it up the back or the side. And voila, you've got your instant pattern. You just cut along the lines and lay it flat, and that way you've got a custom fitted. Or you can, if you're really ambitious, take that duct tape wrap t-shirt and then stuff it full of foam or something, and you give it some rigidity, and then use that as a fitted dressmaker form in order to properly fit stuff to you. But there's a quick tip, trick, shortcut, and you cosplayers, you might be aware of the technique, or if not, there's something you can use. Yay, we're relevant. Let's see. Always went for the purple markers to sniff. It's not our fault for not sniffing. Encrypted Angels always went for the purple markers to sniff. It's not our fault for sniffing markers when they made them smell fruity. I couldn't get enough of that grape smell. For us, it was, do you remember Strawberry Shortcake? Okay, those dolls that smelled that way. There was no other doll. There was no other place to get that particular strawberry scent. And man, we loved that stupid thing. Our stepsister had those when they came out, and we remember just smelling it. That smelled so good. But yeah, we remember the smelling markers. And yeah, why did they make those? And they still have them, because literally on the day with DID, we're going through the Walmart aisle and we spy the sweet and stinky markers, and we're like, ew, so who knows? It's kind of like they were encouraging us, maybe. Huff the marker, kid. Look, I got some Crayolas here, real cheap. Okay, we're exploring link show in chats. I'm not certain. Yeah, I'm sorry. We don't know how to make those links appear and whatnot. Just drop them in the comments in the description of the live stream. We know those or not the descriptions. Drop the links in the comments of the section down there. They should show. We'll double check on those, because the chat, we basically have very little control over that we know of. So yeah. Blue Rose is saying they really struggle with letting the little ones out. Yeah, we're not. Some of them really scare us. Susie, bright little bundle of cheerful trauma, all about strawberries and fluffy white dresses and other things. She scares us. Yeah. So we feel you there. Oxymoron saying we co-con most of the time too, and you're right, we're still here, and that thing didn't happen, but sometimes something said things I never would, and I'm still afraid. Yeah, we literally had this happen to us yesterday. Our wife was telling us something in the kitchen. It was one of these where it's like, don't remember having this conversation. You hit this point in DID where it's like, before you're diagnosed, you're like, I don't remember having this conversation. I never said that. You must be misremembering too. I don't remember having this conversation, probably because I wasn't the one there. I believe you, totally believe you that I said this, but I don't remember it, so it's like, it's like little bits of you slipping away. It's like, there it is. There it is. I'll show them back down there. Starry saying, Blue Rose, I get that. Littles or acting little can be scary and they need time out. They need a space. Little stories are perfect for this, in my opinion. Thank you. That's one of the reasons why, another one of the reasons why we wanted to do it. And one of the goals of it is to give a safe, even just up here or just watching place safe. That's, yeah. Yes, yay. But yeah, we try to make Saturday nights the littlest times, but we miss and we feel bad about it. They get put off, and it's trying to find that balance. Yeah, Cryptid Angel, strawberry shortcake, yes, us too. And the blueberry was our friend. The blueberry was but that strawberry, yes. Starry Girl too. Onyx is saying the disappointment from the finished art barely smelling like anything though. Yeah, I know, you go through all this trouble to create, this picture with your grape smelling marker, and then it's the smell goes. It's like, I want my smell. Oh, we're going on the time here. Okay, let's see here. This be the verse. Connor is saying people are way protective of me typing and being outside engaging with people in here because I'm usually younger. Well, it's good that they're protecting you. Not all systems have got that. We're fortunate in that we've got a pretty strong protectors. Nags. Nag. Little Threat, hi, I got uncontrollably sleepy. I have to go for now. I'll watch the rest when we get a chance. No problem, Little Threat. Have a good day, night, whatever. Get some sleep. Self-care. We'll see you around. Just a second here. Okay, oops. There we go. Okay. This be the verse. I love Percival's story. I feel so safe and have a load of fun listening to him. Thank you. It's very important to us. Look forward to the next one because this last month, our DBT for getting through the difficult month has been to be working on the little stories there, the safe space here, and we have made some big upgrades, as it were. So you guys will be seeing those in the next episode, which will be coming up sometime in March here, probably the first couple of weeks of March. We'll see how things go, but we will definitely at least have one out, and you'll see the changes that we made. I think you guys will like them. Basically, we've gotten it to where the original idea, the original vision that we saw in our heads of it has finally come to fruition. But we kind of tend to always improve things and tweak them just a little bit. But once we get it to a certain point, and I think that we're right there or just right about there, we will kind of freeze it because the dependability and the consistency is a very important part of the whole concept. So we want it to visually look the same every time and whatnot, or at least as much as we can. So we've been tweaking it here and there, but the biggest upgrade just came, which you guys will see. Okay, so let's see here. Right. This be the verse. I'm getting glared at by Valentine, but I'm going to type here anyway because he doesn't feel properly mad yet. That sounds like a mood, I'll tell you. Roses. My mother took one look at the scented markers and said, "Not in my homeschool." That's no fun. Everybody should get to smell a highly toxic colored artificial scented marker at least once in their life. Okay, let's see. If you use Discord, there are little middle friendly servers, but try to discern as best you can because some of them can be questionable. Have some, yeah. We've avoided those, but then we're extremely protective and nervous, and we know how bad the internet can be. We've grown up with it. We're around before it. So it can be dangerous, but yeah, be careful out there, guys, particularly with your littles online, because not everybody's going to get it. And unfortunately, there are wolves in sheep's clothing. Yet another reason why we wanted to provide the littles with a safe, stable, predictable environment where they can feel a part of it, hence the sheep on the wall, and with the danger factor removed. But yeah, everybody's got their own things. Just be careful, people, please. This be the verse. Sorry, you've had a difficult, crappy month. We're really looking forward to the new episodes. Yeah, it's just difficult. It is what it is. Trauma bubbles burst, and there it is. Oxymoron saying the dog taking and telling me to take a break. Be back in a moment. If not, have a great day. Thank you, Oxymoron. Go walk your dog. It's a lot easier than cleaning up after them. Well, we're not dog people, so we're cat people. Although we very nearly did get adopted by a dog this month. We were coming home from Walmart, and there was this very friendly German Shepherd right in the middle of the cross. He was there in the middle of the road and was, friendly, your dog, and he was going to get hit because that's a dangerous intersection. And as we pulled up, one of the cars was gently trying to tell him get out of the way of the driver, and we pulled up right there at the stop and looked out, and we're like, oh crap. So we rolled down the window come on the side of the road, boy, come on the side of the road. And it's like he's just there. Dumb dog, it's friendly dog, maybe not dumb. But we're like, oh hell, it's like we have to take responsibility for this. We keep him because of the cats, but I'm not going to leave an animal out there stray or lost when I can do something about it. And he was in immediate danger of his life. So we stop and get out, and he comes right up to us, and we open up the back door, and without a second's hesitation, he just hops right up and lays down on the back seat and just lays down, put his head between his paws, and just without a second thought, it was like, yes, let's go. So we drove maybe block or two to our house and got out and kept him on the front porch and fed him a couple hot dogs and some cat food before we took him to the no-kill shelter. And he was actually trained, much to our great surprise, because he did the sit and lay down, and the whole kit and caboodle. So he had obviously been well cared for because he wasn't skinny or emaciated, and had obviously been trained. So we figured he was a stray. But it was one of these where oh my God, did we just get adopted by a dog? Because I feel because he was so well trained and nice, and we don't like dogs overall. But no offense, dog people, but this every once in a while we'll run across a dog who is a good dog. And that we actually like and likes us, which is a rare thing. And this was one of those. So where it's like, oh God, did we just get adopted by a dog? But, we want to make sure, because we've had lost pets and lost pets to being lost, no matter how hard you look. And it's a terrible feeling, when your pet, loved one, let's face it, is out there. So we did the responsible thing and let him in, and then we took him to the pound. Turned out he was chipped, so we didn't, have to worry about that or anything. Like I said, they are a no-kill shelter, so we felt comfortable in that. And sure enough, he was chipped, and they called his owners. Turns out he's a repeat offender. This is about the second or third time that he's showing up at the pound after having gotten out. So I don't know, but Bandit, maybe we'll see again, maybe we won't. But funny little dog story there. Let's see, Sue, where were we? Yes, the dog's telling you to take a break. That's what got us on. You can tell we're Okay, more on binders. Valentine and Carrie don't really let me type to anyone until they know what they're like, and I've seen their face and stuff and hung out and chat a few times. Yeah, that's wise. They're Valentine and Carrie. That's wise. Trust them. Okay, they're looking out for you. They know what's best. May not feel like that all the time, but they've gotten you this far. Trust them. Okay. More about binders. Okay. Miss Onyx is saying, and very important, do not confuse age regression spaces for system little middle spaces. Even if they are safe for work, it is inherently not the same, and that community has creeps lurking. Yeah, that's basically what we were talking about. We kind of keep ourselves in our own little neck of the woods, so we're not aware of all the stuff that goes out there on social media, but we do keep our thumb on the pulse of things, as it were. And that's just the way that we are. And we have noticed that, yeah, there's some real creepy crap going around. Yeah, be careful, people. Again, please be careful, because there are always predators lurking. And that's not paranoia, that's a fact. Yeah, so be careful out there. This would be the worst. Dogs are the best, and you're the best too for saving them and taking them somewhere they couldn't get hurt. I do the same for a cat, or hell, we've even done it for birds. It's just the right thing to do. It's like if somebody else out there, they're missing their pet, if I can help them or reunite them, then it's being a moral human being, I guess. Or one of the here we go on a sidetrack again. One of the few things that we feel that human beings were put here, if we were put here for a purpose, it is to help animals who cannot help themselves, to ease suffering and to help provide. I mean, not like interfering in nature or anything, but like, freeing a dolphin from a fishnet, something like that, which shouldn't be in there. They shouldn't be getting caught to begin with. But that's it's just a moral thing to do. We're here to take care of those that can't. We can, they can't. The simple equation: need plus ability equals solution. No, anyway, minor rant. Uh, I guess kind of annoys me because I feel repressed, but I guess they're just protecting me, and I'm not used to that. Yeah, that's part of it. And dog's super lucky they ran into you, and I saw it there. Yeah, absolutely. Hello, Oxymoron. Welcome back. If you're talking to us, Onyx, well, yes and no. We are friends with other systems, but it's we have no idea what it would even be like to sit down as a little and play with another little in a system. We haven't been able to experience that physically. We've had two of our littles co-con at the same time, but that doesn't really. But no, we don't really do that, and we're not even sure that they really could, because, and we've explained this before about being locked in those time frames because of the trauma, and ours was heavy, and really they're locked. It's like Mimi, she's stuck she's in 1983, 1984. Christopher is 74 to 75, and then Susie comes in, and then Christopher D, and so their perceptions, when our perceptions, when we're frontier, their perceptions don't, it doesn't make the connect that, okay, we're in 2020 and there's this thing called a computer and I can type on it now. That's just us in our case. So it's like Mimi, she can see the computer, she knows what it is, because obviously we had computers back then, just not in advance, but it's not something that she has a connection to or an interest in. It just, she doesn't feel a need. And when she tries to bridge that mental gap and really think about it, that's when one of the TITHs start to set in. So we don't have any real direct experience with that because that's just not the way that we work. But be careful, all of you, please. Dragons, yeah, Dragons is saying Connor Littles are allowed out basically. Now much less on the internet. You're getting lots of privileged already, dude. Welcome back. Yeah, okay, I'm not sure. Let's see. This would be the verse saying yes. Got 3 other super awesome system friends like Dragons who are the best. So we were really lucky. I can talk to them. Okay, good. Guess. Yeah, I guess I'm lucky. Yeah. It's a compromise. Is the name of the game. Encrypted Angels is saying our littles don't want to be out for the most part unless I'm doing something that interests them in particular, like watching a Disney movie or playing Sims. That's about it. Yeah, Disney movies are a strong, I don't want to say trigger, but association for almost all of our littles. So generally, if Christopher wants to front or Christopher or Susie, it's primarily Christopher. It kind of skips around. We'll put on the Disney movies, certain Disney movies. Christopher's favorite is The Adventures of Winnie the Pooh from 1977, I think. We've got them all saved where they can just be accessed, and before he fronts all of it, one of us just pushes play, and that's it. He's all set up with his snacks and his toys if he chooses to play with them and whatnot. So yeah, actually, we're kind of envious for you guys who actually get to make that direct, contact as it was. But at the same token, we're not sure we'd really be comfortable with it. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's just not a reality for us right now. So let's see. But yeah, we feel you, Encrypted Angels, and actually we've noticed something in rewatching the Disney movies. Yeah, we're not going to get in. We're not going to get into that because we're still debating whether or not to cover that as an episode. But there are certain commonalities about early Disney movies that, upon rewatching, are disturbing. But it depends upon. Yeah. Anyway, it's a double-sided thing. So yes, scout. Okay, be the versus saying scouting everyone first for ages, and then Valentine looming over my shoulder at everything as I tell. Yeah, I know that looming. Welcome to data. Okay, talking about looks really boring. Yes, exactly. Been on the little. Miles is a lot more shy than Sunny is. Used to work with kids, so Sunny would co-front when we made slime, etc. But Miles only plays with our partners. Yeah, fortunately, most of our littles, they recognize our wife, maybe not as our wife, but as a non-threatening figure. Actually, the last time that we had let them to front, apparently John came out at some point and actually spoke to her, which is remarkable because John, we can't reach him and he's afraid of. Yeah. Anyway. But apparently he fronted and actually spoke to her. She said that he really couldn't talk that well. He was having great difficulty, and it was only like a word or two. But anyway, that was a surprise. So okay, so hey, we're actually caught up on the chat logs here. It's about 2 hours in. Okay, we have something for you guys. And we talked about doing this before. And this is all tied into, and we were trying to think of a way to tie this in and make it applicable to DID, and we think that we've come up with a good way. And basically it's this. We often think about control. Oh, we need to be in control of ourselves, or we're always in control of ourselves, or, there's always circumstances, as long as we maintain that control, I'm in control of my destiny. Somebody else can't possibly influence me. And you think about this as an abuse and abusers type of situation. And our point will come clear. And this kind of ties back to the guilt, blame, shame spiral that we were discussing earlier, and the ways that your abuser will manipulate you. So, for those of you who might still be questioning whether or not it was actually your fault, or your fault, but whether or not you actually had any control over it, and that you were the cause of it, and doubt that your circumstances were controlled to produce one solid outcome, okay, we have a practical demonstration for you. Just remember that. Give me just a second here to pull that up. And that is not it. There we go. And just a word. Maybe. Come on. Okay, here we go. Now this is actually a piece of magic, of mentalism, but I think you'll see the point that we're trying to make. Okay, so I'm going to follow along. We're going to read this. We used to have the whole thing memorized, but that's been years ago. Okay, so here we go. Magic does not exist outside of itself. There is no magic without imagination, for magic happens in the mind, in our perceptions, in the way that we perceive reality. That's why I want to take a moment to test your imaginations. I want to make certain that if I'm going to go someplace unexpected and amazing, that I'll have passengers who are willing to go on the journey with me. In fact, we're going to see if we can't make all of our imaginations combine in some wonderful and, dare I say, magical way. Now, this sounds confusing, but it really isn't. Let's try a simple game. I'll describe something, and you close your eyes and try to imagine it perfectly. Then, we'll compare notes to see if you and I are in tune. For now, keep your eyes open while I give you an example. Ready? First, I want each of you to imagine that there is a little table in front of you. On that table are 3 colored balls, a red one, a white one, and a blue one, like the colors of the French or American flag. 3 pretty shiny little colored balls, red, white, and blue, similar perhaps to ones that you played with as a child. Now watch me closely and do exactly as I do. I want you to pick up one of the balls in your right hand. Doesn't matter which color you pick, just pick one up in your right hand. Choose one at random. Now, in the experiment ahead, I'll be asking you to spell a given word. Don't worry, it's not a quiz, okay? When I do ask, I want you to move the ball from hand to hand as you spell. One move for each letter. So, if you were spelling the word ball, you would spell it like this. Start with the ball in your right hand. B-A-L-L. Got it? Stop would be S-T-O-P. Okay, everybody understand? Okay, so, okay, now then, let's try it. Okay, spell ball. B-A-L-L. Everybody ready? Okay, now, place the ball back onto the table with all the others. We want to start with our hands and our imaginations empty. Now, to help sharpen your imaginations, you may close your eyes or you may choose to keep them open. The choice is yours. Just listen to my instructions and concentrate on the imaginary items in front of you. I want you to reach down with your right hand and pick up one of the 3 balls again, red, white, or blue. Reach down with your right hand and pick one up. Do you have it in your right hand? Now, as before, I want you to toss it from hand to hand as you were doing before to spell it from hand to hand. Now spell the color of the ball that you just chose, red, white, or blue, from hand to hand. Start with it in your right hand and toss it to the left and toss it back and forth once for each letter. Do so now. Okay, everybody got Okay, now you have a fist where you're holding the ball and an empty open hand. With your empty hand, pick up a second ball from the table. Now be sure to see the color of the new ball in your hand clearly. Imagine that color perfectly in your mind. Okay, good. Now you're holding one ball in each hand. Take the ball in your left hand and throw it away over your shoulder. Because it's an imaginary ball, it vanishes. Now, feel free. Here's another choice for you. Feel free to move the ball in your right hand to your left hand, or you can leave it in your right hand. Just don't forget which color it is. Now, at this point, you should have one ball on the table and a second ball in either your right or your left hand. Everyone has something different in their fist. Okay? Now, let's make this really random. I want you to spell your first name, moving the ball from hand to hand, back and forth, as you've done before, once for each letter. Okay? Do so now. Everybody got it? Excellent. Now, notice which hand the ball is in, your right hand or your left hand. Right or left. Now spell that word, right or left, moving it from one hand to the other, just as you have before. Okay, good. Now keep the ball in the hand where it ended up. Now spell the color of the ball in your hand. Again, moving it back and forth once for each letter. Okay, the color this time. Do so now. Okay, good. Now stop right there. Now let's check in. You've got a fist with a ball inside of it and an empty hand. With your empty hand, I want you to reach down and pick up the last ball on the table and be certain to note that final color. See it clearly in your mind. Now listen to me closely, because this next part is very important. Take the ball that's in your left hand and hold it up in front of your face. Build the image of it in your mind. Feel the weight of the ball in your hand. Concentrate on the color. Imagine it clearly. Now, take the ball and stick it to the end of your nose like a magnet. You can open your eyes now if you've closed them. Now that was a pretty good test of your imaginations, wasn't it? You had to see colors and shapes in front of you. You had to move them back and forth between your hands in a random manner. Depending upon the decisions that you made, what hand you were thinking about, or what color you were thinking about, even your name. But now, before we go any farther, I want you to slowly and carefully reach up to your nose and remove the blue ball that is stuck to the end of it. Did I get it right? Were our imaginations perfectly in sync? If they are, then give yourself a round of applause. So, what is the point of this little exercise? That even though you appeared to make choices, red, white, blue, right or left hand, your name, the color, the outcome was predetermined before you even started. We're not going to tell you how, but we were able to take and give you a set of circumstances whereby apparently you had free choice, when in fact you didn't have any. Just like that blue ball, and just like what your abusers put you through. It's not your fault. Now we'll check the chat log. We've been meaning to do that for a while, but we had to figure out how to tie it in, so there it is. Okay, let's go back here and see where we're at. Okay, let's see here. Love it so much when Chris puts on his stage magician hat. Yeah, once upon a time, your stage voice is so perfect. Thank you. That's actually part of the training, believe it or not. Project. So, Okay, something about the way you are articulating yourself is positively triggering Sunny. Okay, thank you. Fred Rogers is proud. This be the verse. I love his voice so much. I wanted to type it, had a red ball on my hand. Done it. Yes, yes. Wow, what? Yay, how? Hooray, it worked. That's amazing. That was really fun. That was so cool. Whoa, not our fault. That was amazing. Yes. So remember that. Your choices can be determined for you under the right circumstances, under controlled conditions. You can be made to do what you don't want to do without even realizing it. So think about that the next time that you're feeling guilt or blame or shame for what was done to you. Wasn't your fault. Wasn't your fault. Okay. That was fun. Yeah, absolutely. And we've kind of been sitting on that one for a while. But yeah, we actually did some stage work as a stage magician and also as a strolling magician. We went to the School of Las Vegas Magic and Mystery run by Jeff McBride, who is a world famous magician and card manipulator and artistry. You can easily find his stuff. Just Google it. He's been on World's Greatest Magic and whatnot. And we were fortunate enough to win a scholarship to go and study directly from him and his staff. And yeah, so that's a little bit of our past. And there goes the reconnecting thing again. So we're glad that you guys enjoyed that, and hopefully the message got across too. Oh, ouch, that was a cool message. Okay, I like what we're saying. You're a good magician. That was fun. That's just a mentalism thing. You should see us do some of our other stuff. It's been a while though. I was fully ready to just accept the magic trick as just a fun thing. This be the verse. I want to know how it works, and it made me relief sigh too. So good message. Yeah. Even if we told you exactly how it works, it's a very long and complicated explanation. And just it's one of these things where if I told you, I would just simply lose you in the process. So just enjoy the magic, really. It really is complicated. But, okay, that was really cool. Connor, in our experience, magic tricks are way more fun when you don't know how they work. Yes, and that is the exact thing. And believe it or not, most magicians, their tricks, and we prefer in the trade, we prefer the term effect rather than trick, because that implies something else. Most of them actually have a built-in layer of misdirection to send you off on a wrong path. Well, how could this be done? We've already thought about that, and we're like 3 or 4 steps ahead of you. So just sit back and enjoy the show. Don't be that guy. We're still working on letting the message get through, but we heard it at least. That's all that it takes. That's all that it takes. So yeah. Okay, it is 3 o'clock and we have dinner to cook. So I think we're going to go ahead and end the stream on that note. It's been a great stream today, guys. Lots of great questions, lots of good information. We're going to have to go back and reread the body dysphoria and the binder information because totally out of our depth there. So thank you to Roses and those who are maybe part of the trans community to know in order to, okay, anybody out there who had any experience to share with that. Looks like we got some great stuff. So thank you. Kudos to you guys. Kudos to all of you for being such a great community and supporting each other and continuing to watch us blather on about our experiences. And thank you for your compliments on the safe space, the little story. Like I said, coming up at least 1, possibly 2 of those episodes. 1 episode on 2 tips to help you calm down when you're under duress and you're triggered and to help feel safe again. And hopefully an episode on more in depth on the TITH, on the transitional interpersonality thunderclap headaches. Provided that data gets done looking for new information on it and actually graphs it out for us. So hopefully those will be the 4 things that were coming up in the future here. And thank you, everybody. You're all saying bye. Thank you very much. Have a great day. And always remember, you are loved, you are strong, and you're not alone. All right, thanks, guys. This is Chris Data, and who knows else in the headspace. The Infinity System wishing you a good night. Bye, guys. Catch you on the flip side.